Hi, Burwa. How are you? Can you still hear me now? Can you hear me? Testing one, two, three. The volume is up. Everything is up. Yep, I'm connected to my mic. Everything is good to go. I'm going to give you guys a moment. It may be a delay. Microphone not on. That is so weird. What is wrong with my mic? Are you guys trying to tell? Oh, hi, Anlu. Are you guys trying to tell me that I need to buy another microphone? Yes, you can hear me? Yes? Oh, thank God. Hallelujah, guys. I want you to know live streaming is actually a very hard thing to do. If you could see this, what just happened about 10 minutes ago, I have to erase all of that because I can't go in and edit. I care too much about my engagement, so I remember who actually shows up. When you guys show up and spend your time hanging out with me, the least I can do is answer your questions, so I don't want to miss all of that engagement. Hey, Asif! Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I'm going to dive right deep into answering all of your questions before I get cut off again, okay? Hey, Bitanim, how are you? And Lou, thank you so much for showing up in 99% of my stream. So for those of you who just came in, which tells me that you may not be a subscriber to my YouTube channel, so I don't know why you haven't subscribed to my channel. You need to do that. Now I'm starting to do 2 streams a week, actually 3. Every Tuesday is purely Q&A for Amazon specifically. But guys, you know that everything I talked about is not just using it for Amazon, it's for any employer. Okay? And I need to get up close and personal with the mic so you could block off the voice in the background. The second thing I want to say is my Wednesday live. Yes, I'm doing a Wednesday stream pretty often now, and that is specifically for my Patreon community, which means it will not be public at all. And that's just an office hour for all tiers for Patreon. And the third live is every Thursday. That is for leadership. That is if you're interviewing for level 6 and above. And the reason why I'm trying to not staggered everything like this live is to spend my longest stream is 3 hour and a half, guys. And after every single stream, I actually go back, take the time to put all your Q&A on the link because no one wants to watch a 3-hour stream. They want to go to the exact content that they need get in and get out. So I find that it's not very valuable of my time. It's not very efficient. And I don't want to mix junior level executive and, Amazon and non-Amazon all in one. So I'm finally being strategic so that I could show up more, hang out with different audience, and align them to the right channel. Okay? That's why I have a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday live starting now. Welcome back, Christy. Hi, welcome back, SOA. Jamester, you came. Hi, David. Hi, Asip. Christy says, I honestly absolutely love you. And yes, we can hear. You're so funny. Did I pay you to say that? If I did, I forgot to bill you. Hey, Asip. Wait, what? Did you say an offer? Wait, where's my bun? Yay! Congratulations! Asif Ali wanted to thank you for all your help. I got my offer letter last week. You are number 3. You are number 3 that came to me this week, and I'm just getting started on Tuesday. Thank you so much for sharing it. You're not only when you guys are showing up in my live stream and sharing not just to me, but the entire community of your job offer, you are pumping me up and giving them inspiration, okay? So if any tip, those who had a job offer, I know a few of you guys are in here, share what really worked for you. Is it your story? Is it STAR? Is it the type of question that's being asked? What is your best? If you have to say one thing right now, Asif, and even Antlu, what is the number 1 biggest tip that you can offer for everyone who's here today? Okay? Our questions got out of chat. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. The question disappeared because I have deleted the last chat where I was sweating and with a kid jumping all over me and with cartoons in the background. It was too much of a madhouse for me to show in the World Wide Web, so I took it down. Okay? Hey, Andrew, and I know, please put your question again, and I'll be sure to answer that this time. Andrew says, when you guys saw me live streaming and before starting 5 minutes prior with no music, you know something's going down. Okay, how many candidates do you usually get interviewed for a role before AW makes a decision? That's a really good question, actually. And how does the process work when interviews for candidates are separate out over a few weeks? That is an excellent question. Well, Andrew, generally when hiring managers of any company, this is not just Amazon, interviewed, they would have about two, three candidates all scheduled to interviewed. If the candidate is already scheduled, then they wanted to have the opportunity to interview all of those candidates, right? So generally, they don't just settle for the first candidate if there's a bunch of them that are pending schedule or look good. Basically, if the recruiter took your credential with 5 other and they all look good, the hiring manager will want to speak with all of them. Okay? Let me know if that had answered your question. How does the process work when interviews for candidates are spread out over a few weeks? Well, if you are a killer candidate, okay, if you are a strong hired or like the entire loop gives you a thumbs up, then I would say if I'm the hiring manager, I would probably move forward in giving you an offer and not wait until I've interviewed 10 candidates, okay? Because Amazon is getting a lot more candidates now than they ever had, okay? James, sir, if you have any questions, drop it down, my friend. Hey, Matt, you are here. Welcome to my live stream for the first time. Hi, Prachi. I hope a lot of you guys didn't see what had happened in the previous stream half an hour ago. Prachi says, excited to let you know. You received your offer breakup today from Amazon. Yay! Oh my God, that is number 4 for this week so far. I am so excited. And response timing, your honest stories, that makes all the difference. You're welcome. I am so proud of you guys. I've been trying to tell you, as much as I love you being in my coaching program, I have a lot of programs. I don't even care about that. I just want to jump on here. These live stream, Q&A, and also all of my content, if you guys truly follow it to a T, like everyone who mentioned that they have a job offer, it works, but you really, really, really need to create your star. It's all about the star. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the star, check out the video. I have a video for everything I talked about. It's in my playlist, okay? You cannot miss it. I just wanted to prove a point, and thank you so much for everyone who just bounced back here. You really motivate me than you think, okay? That's letting me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm definitely not talking to the wall, and people are actually paying attention to what I'm saying. As a content creator, that's amazing. So congratulations to all of you guys. Hey, Adula. Adula says, thank you for the lessons. Oh, I received a call waiting for months after my early... Oh, you also got an offer? Anyway, I would dance right now. I just don't have any move. That would be embarrassing. You guys would all sign off if I started moving. Thank you so much. That's like the 5th person jumping on here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Sarnas, I think this is your first time. Welcome to my channel. I'm a subscriber, but first time on your live, I will have first phone screen for HR assistant. That's excellent. Recently, there's been a bunch of HR assistant and HRPP who show up to my free career coach like this every single Tuesday and land a job offer. Okay, guys? A lot of people who didn't even need to speak to me or my time at all outside of my YouTube content, they're just simply doing exactly what I asked them to do. And if you guys pay attention to all of my video, every single one of them has homework assignment. Sometimes I get yelled at by some of the audience, which is, Holly, I don't understand. You share a lot of knowledge, but where's the example for a program manager? Well, guys, if I were to do that, then it won't be fair for the TPM, for the recruiters, for the HR assistants, for the leaders, the data analysts. You guys get the idea, right? If I were to dare to make one video and answer very specifically with start with, by the way, as a content creator, nothing that you do is ever good enough. Someone's going to complain. But if you're going to complain that you need me to talk about very specific example to your skill set, that's what my coaching community is for. Okay. And I am just proving a point right here to all of you guys. All you have to do is do the work. Because if you do, the results are right here. You just saw 5 people who landed a job offer with Amazon. Okay. I'm just being very authentic and very raw right now. I have so many people who ask me the same questions, but have they seen the content that was recommended during the live stream? They will not be asking me that. Okay. Hey, Mutaz. Hi, Mutaz. Hi, Blake. I just went through a loop last Friday. Thanks for your help. I'll know the result tomorrow. Well, keep me posted, okay, Blake? Mutaz says it's important to change the story or the answer through the interview if we have the same questions. If you have the same questions, I feel like I'm to the corner. Okay, maybe I should move this way. If you guys experience having the same questions from the interviewer, rather than using the exact same story, you can use the same situation, but you twist it, right? For example, rather than, if the question is, tell me about a time when you went above and beyond for a customer, and you give that example. But if someone asks you, can you tell me a time where you didn't know what the customer was looking for and you did it without their consent, without them even knowing that they need the services, and what was the end result? It's really the same thing. Do you see where I'm going? You could certainly use the same scenario, but twist it a little bit that is towards the LP. Okay? Yes? I will be right back. I need to take a little break for the little guy here. I will be back in 30 seconds. Right back. Come on. Good boy. You good boy? I know you're such a good boy. Mama love you when you're good boy. Mama no love when you're naughty, naughty, cha-cha, okay? Okay, no naughty, much, okay? Okay, no naughty. No naughty. Okay, pee-pee coming. You pee me so much. I know. Why do you pee me so much? Like, come here. Did you finish your apple? Yeah. Do you want your orange? Okay, come. Go watch Abby. Abby, you want Mama to help you with Abby? Mama help you with Abby, okay?
Abby, please, Abby there.
Flippy.
Mama. Oh, Mama. Oh, no. Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama.
Did you guys keep yourself entertained while I was away? Okay. So check that out. And also, a lot of you guys with questions, check out the previous stream. The playlist is called Amazon Interview Tips. As mentioned earlier, I actually rewatched the whole stream and put the Q&A. So for example, if you're an HR assistant interviewing for that role, you just have to look for HR assistant interview tip. And it will, if you click on that link, it'll bring you right there. So you're not wasting your time watching the entire stream. Okay? Christy says, no, ma'am, no payment necessary.
My apple.
What is it?
I'm not picking my apple.
Okay, finish your apple. Mama, drink coffee. Look, check out my mug. This is my first company swag. It is Career Tuesday. That's why I have to show up every single Tuesday, guys. And the back says, do what you love. If you're interested in my mug, let me know. I'm just so proud being my first swag. By the way, if you are in my coaching community or any of my services and you land a job offer, this will be in the mail for you. Okay. Irina says, Thank you very much for all the video and helpful information. Not sure if you can share, but I am just curious how many applicants usually make it through? Usually make it to the final round? That's really hard for me to say. My answer to you would be I'm not really sure. I mean, things change so often depending on the location, the role, the team, or if are the interviewers calibrated, right? So that's kind of hard for me to say. But what I can share is my personal experience. I've interviewed a lot of level sixes because I was a level six as well, and I've sat in debrief for level seven. I would say maybe a 20% would get hired. So 100, if 100 people interviewed, probably about 20 being the very high that's going to receive a job offer. That's why you should really stand out from your branding, your professional branding. I have a video for all of that, guys. I mean, should show you how to pop out to the recruiter. And from the moment you are engaged with the recruiter and the hiring manager for the initial phone screen, you need to really have your story together. Without having your story, without knowing your story, meaning know yourself, know your background, know what you've done, know where you've made a mistake, know what kind of scope you have been in. I know it's hard. It's easier for me to say unless you work for different types of environment. Sometimes you just don't have the experience to scale, and that's okay. That's where creating your story and really being able to articulate in telling your story is crucial. Okay, honestly, I wouldn't even recommend paying attention to those number or who the interviewers are or anything like that. The only thing you guys should really pay attention to is your story. Story, star, all day long. Hey, William. William says, by the way, I only have 9 thumbs up and I've lost most of my audience from the previous stream. I would appreciate some thumbs up right now, some emojis. If you were to give me anything, I love stars, so please drop the star down here if you'd like me to continue. You love the stream, and you're going to come back next week, okay? William says, from Vancouver, right on. The border is closed until mid-August. I'm a little bummed for that. We usually go up there at least once a month for their amazing food. Well, you're welcome. I have a panel interview with AWS for security architect on the 14th. Fingers crossed to you. Good luck, and let me know how that goes, okay? Christy says, is there a writing assessment for a senior HRA? I want to say yes. Every level 6 position does come with a writing example. Christy, you're part of the PageCrunch group as well. There's actually a section in the premium tier for writing exercise examples. And I actually go in there and review that for you as well. That's why I love the community, because they genuinely wanted to help you. Okay? And the ones who recently received a job offer, their writing example are also on there as well. Great question. Anlu says, my number 1 tip will be prepare your story and practice saying them out loud to someone. If you can, do dummy interviews. Practice. Nice. Hi, Giselle. Hi, Giselle. Parker, where's your iPad? Can you get your iPad for Mom? Please? Please get iPad, okay? Can you build a house for Mama?
No.
Okay, what about your Lego? Can you show Mama where your Lego is? Bring them here. Bring your Lego right here, please. Okay, bring Lego here. This live stream is slowly going a whole new different level. Giselle says, my second phone screen is a week from learning and development PM. Oh, that's an exciting position. I've got my star example. Any other advice? The biggest advice I can give you is for that team specifically, that's like my favorite people, by the way, because they're so bubbly. They love to train. I would say know and have multiple example where you have put training programs together and what type of project or program have you manage. And I would also think about an example of the amount of people that you have trained or influenced. Who are your customers and what was your added value? Okay, so those things are really important for learning and development team. What happened? I think he purposely made himself oopsie so he can cry. I can give him attention. Okay, good boy. You still good boy? Okay, hug. It's okay. Hug like this, okay? Okay. Can you celebrate on response time? Can you elaborate on response time? When you say response time, you're talking about how long does it take to respond to each interviewer? That would be a minute or less. Check out my 60-second elevator pitch. You can't miss it. It's a very first video. Okay? And make sure you download my star template, Giselle. Miss Mojo Risen says, had a weird situation. I rescheduled an interview. They offered the position to someone else, but still let me interviewed. Told me I was moving on, but the position was accepted. I only did one interview. I am very confused what that all meant as well. I would challenge the recruiter and ask that person, are there multiple positions for this role? Could you share with me what the next step would be? So if you guys are ever in doubt with the position, the role, what the next step is in general, don't be afraid to question your recruiter, okay? Because their job is, even if they don't know what they're talking about, they're supposed to find an answer for you. I mean, candidate experience should be the number one most priority to the recruiter. It should be to everyone, but to the recruiter specifically. SOA says, can I mail you offline for some quick mantra? Will help me. Ann Lou says, number one is listen to Holly. Look for her playlist. That's cool. Thanks for the tip, Ann Lou. Doreen says, any tips outside of the leadership principle? When leadership principle, just the phrase alone is a loaded question, right? It's good to know the leadership principle, but the one thing, if you guys don't remember anything that I talked about, the Amazon leadership principle, guess what, guys? Other employer, startup, multi-billion-dollar company, competitors of Amazon, they're using very similar, if not the exact, behavioral question. Okay? That is why the more you know and be educated about the 14 leadership principle, as you are carving out your answer should meet at least 50% of all of the leadership principle. Okay? If you download my STAR method personal template, if you read it, it hits, I want to say 100% of the leadership principle. You want to know how to do that? Download my freebie. It's called the STAR method template. Okay? And I literally walk you through step by step. You can't miss it. Hey, Swang. Thank you for the live stream and video. I had my loop yesterday. Hope it works out. Fingers crossed. Please keep me posted. Miss Mojo Risen says, still don't understand what happened, but they are trying to look for another role for me since I was strong enough to move on. Have you seen this happen before? Well, I've seen a lot of candidates who are still in the interview stage. They already started the interview stage, but the position is filled because they have a candidate, exactly what I just mentioned earlier, where they're so excited and everyone want to jump in and hire this person as the strongest candidate on paper and also in person. Yes, that does happen, but it's a cool thing that Amazon doesn't just decline you. They're trying to find you a home in different teams. If they have another role within the same organization, they typically would present the role to you as well. Similar position, right? And then again, this is a question of, does that hiring manager have a budget to hire more than one person? You know, how many people can they hire? Okay? Hey, Ruli. Hi, Holly. Should we put some tips or notes beside us or around the screen when we take our on-site interview? Here's the tip. That's a good question. Here's a tip I would give you. If you looked at my stream from 3 weeks ago, I actually have a photo of another network in my community where, in order for him to memorize his story, he actually write it out in sticky or in a big monitor, like right here, and have a laptop in front. Basically, laptop in front. Here's a laptop, a bus. Okay, that's not a good example. Here's the monitor. Here's your monitor, and here is the laptop. Okay, so the laptop goes in front, and your monitor goes in back so you can see your notes. The one biggest tip I can tell you guys is don't make it so obvious that your eyes are moving back and forth. So make sure you memorize your story. The whole point is you don't want to have to look for your note because that could be very confusing, especially when your brain freeze. The anxiety is coming in and you're getting really nervous. Okay? So memorize your story is number one before you even consider putting your notes out there. Okay. And if I were to put notes, I would really not put every single thing because that's too scattered. I would put the behavioral questions that I would be struggling with the most. That's the tip I have for you. Hosanna. Hi, Hosanna. I'm getting prepared to Facebook interview and your videos are so helpful. Oh, thank you. And I'm very excited. You guys are interviewing outside of Amazon. That really gets me excited. Note that I can talk about any employer, not just Amazon. So thank you for coming by. Anne says, why is it so difficult to get into Google full-time role? Contractor role have so much more competition. Attended multiple and no, I know. Let me tell you why, okay? Google is the world's hardest company to get in. There's actually an article about that too. If you guys do a search on google.com, how ironic is that, right? There's a number of things that will pop up. If you do a search on why is it so hard to get into Google, which company is easier to get in, if you put Amazon, Facebook, and Google wants to hire people who are smart, period. When I say smart, I don't mean necessarily you have the industry experience. They just wanted to know that you are... Forgive me, Google, for making this statement, but everything I'm sharing with you guys, you could also find the same thing on the World Wide Web as well. Okay, they really love to hire people who are almost at a scientist mentality, somebody who could dive really deep in like theory and being smart more on the textbook side versus being very smart with hands-on experience, which is an Amazon, right? I would say Amazon, it's much easier to get in if you have the hands-on experience. Yes, of course, all the employer wants industry experience, but even if you don't have the industry experience, guys, because everyone, the 5 people on here just now who mentioned that they have a job offer doesn't mean that they have the industry experience because they articulate very well. They're smart, but Amazon is evaluating, can you handle the pressure in this environment? Can you move fast? Are you hungry enough? And can you produce? So Amazon really care about, can you really do the job? Google really care about, hey, are you smart? Are you from Harvard or one of the elite top tier school? So that is the difference between the two, okay? Let's see. Let's move on to Jareen. I can't wait to announce that I have received a job offer. Same here as well. I can't wait to show you off. William says, I have a final interview for security architect. Hey, by the way, William, I have a lot of tips for security architect and solution architect as well for AWS. There's a lot of AWS heavy from everyone who show up to my stream. Make sure you check out the previous stream and look at the hyperlink, okay? Hey, Jaydeep. Jaydeep says, I applied for this job at Amazon India, which matches my experience and skills. I didn't hear, well, when you say it matches your skill and experience, Jaydeep, is that just your perspective or you're comparing your resume to the job description? Answer that, please. That's probably why you didn't hear back from them. Dave, I had my technical phone interviewed. I'm distracted right now. There's a baby crying in the background with the, I don't know what show my little man is watching. I had my phone interview. The recruiter came back enthusiastic, but says they need to wait a few months for in-person interview because of budgets. Yeah, that's pretty common. If I'm the recruiter, I wouldn't just let you sit and wait for that one position because a few months, if you're affected by the pandemic, you could be homeless in a couple months, right? I would tell the recruiter that you're really excited. You would love to work for this team. At the same time, Amazon is your dream company. And is there any other position that would match your background that he or she could move your feedback to the right hiring team? I would do that. I would not be afraid to say that. What if 3 months from now you're waiting and you're shutting yourself, you're shutting the foot in shut your foot in your mouth. Is that how you say it? And the opportunity is not there anymore. If you're doing good, everyone can see your feedback. Oh, okay. What is it? Sorry, guys. Be right back. Come on. What is it? Are you really just going to eat or just do this one? Almost done. Okay? Go to Abby. Abby, please. Did you all behave yourself while I was gone? I would usually put on music for you, but it doesn't work. There's noise in the background. Okay. Alrighty, Dave. That's what I'm saying. Don't put all your foot in one basket. If you're good for one role, most likely, if you meet the bar, I don't know what position and level you're interviewing for, Dave. Most likely, you'll meet the bar for all of Amazon because the hiring bar should be the same or very similar across, okay? Hey, Sinem. Sinem says, Holly also have the last interview with Amazon. Any advices you would like to give me for the last round, which is the panel interview, except leadership principle? Yes, know your story very, very, very well. If the interviewer, to be honest, guys, I have to do like 3 types of retake because of the current situation that I'm in. I am going to make a video called Amazon Mistakes to Avoid, and there are 5 of them. I just can't really do it right now. But I would have to remake that. So make sure you pay attention to that. But the number one biggest thing I can share with everybody, and it sounds like 90% of you have a pending job interview with Amazon. Make sure, guys, I'm going to repeat myself one more time. Do not allow the interviewer to shut off their video camera. If you do, they're not paying attention to you. Okay? It's very awkward. If you feel awkward, you should don't say that you're awkward. But just say, I would love to see your reaction in your camera as well, so I can at least put a face over to the voice. Is there any way you can turn on your camera? Okay? Hey, Jamester. Hey, Bottenham. Bottenham says, second phone interview, still waiting for the results. On the internet, they're saying that they will let me know today, but did not hear anything yet. No, sometimes no news are good news. Christy says, what level is a senior HRA? That's a great question, Christy. Anytime when you see the word senior in front of it and you are an IC, which is an individual contributor, that's a level 6. Okay? SOA says, before interview, I have been told to finish some writing stuff. I don't know whether my interview will go through with my writing article. You must be talking about the writing example. When you pass the phone interview, you will be asked to submit an example to answer one of the 2 questions. So SOA, check out my video that's fairly new from last month. It's called the Amazon writing example. Okay? It tells you everything about it. Jamester, yes, Anlu is waiting to start. William, I'm not sure if you copy and paste your answer again, either that or it just bounces back. Christy says, I want one. Well, Christy, you showed me that job offer and that mug is yours. Hi, Mark. Wow, that's a really cool photo. Nice. I have a road bike as well that has spider web all over it at the moment. OT says, good vibe. You know what? I try. That's the only thing I can do, right? I can't motivate you guys if I don't have the right amount of energy coming here and doing this every week. Hi, Sin. Star. Who else want to give me a star? Yes. Any more star? Final. Dipto. Hello. I love seeing half of my Patreon community in here. That's awesome. Showing me love. I appreciate that. Lalu, hi. Start with Amazon on Monday. Thanks for all the advice. Oh, thank you for coming back. I didn't even bug you to come back and say hello. Thank you so much. Burwa, you got oh no. No one wants Thomas right now, okay? Please don't. Are you a good boy or bad boy? Are you a good boy? Can you go get Mama Bobby? Get Bobby, please. Can you get Bobby? Any excuse to send him away. Yes. Star. Give me some star. I was looking at this earlier. Ruli says, "You're the best coach I've ever watched." Thank you. Did I pay you to say that as well? I don't remember. Sinan says, "Hello, Holly. For panel review on video call, would it be exactly 4 people, 45 minutes? Nothing is exact, okay? Generally, I want to say yes. It's about 4 or 5 people max. Sometimes you would have to do another round because the interviewer is not available. So that's quite common as well. So 45 minutes, it's a good thing. It used to be an hour where the interviewer is running late, try to find a conference room. Now that everyone is still remote on Amazon, they are saving themselves a lot of headache in running up and down to different locations, finding the building, looking at the map, taking a shuttle or an Uber to get to the interview room. Okay? That's why it's 45 minutes. Each interviewer will interview you one at a time. This is not a panel. A panel interview meaning one person comes on, gets off, and another person jumps in. I know that could be a little confusing. Sin says, I had an Amazon recruiter tell me that they will continue to interview until someone accepts the offer. Yes, that's what they should be doing to look for the best candidate for the role. Hi, Snow. It is extremely hot in Seattle. It's about 89 degrees. I'm very happy to see your nickname, Snow. I'm having a phone interview for Amazon, anti-money laundering related. Any advice what Amazon would love to see for financial compliance position? That is everything that you have to do with meeting compliance, your experience dealing with money laundering. I'm going to assume that a lot of that will be in the job description as well. So make sure you know all of that well. Okay? There's quite a number of finance folks interviewing. Tabe says, Did my second phone interview last week. The recruiter told me I have been selected for the virtual onsite and will be contacted by the coordinator team. It's been 3 days, no response. If it's already been 3 days, I will follow up with your recruiter. Shopify's principles are almost identical. Nice. Rena says, I'm back. Dwayne, hi, Dwayne. Here's another one in my Patreon. Thank you for the super chat. Well, you rock. Just showing up. You're already in my Patreon, but you guys took the time to come here, which you didn't have to because I'm actually doing a stream for all member, all tier every Wednesday moving forward. Reason being is that there are a lot of you guys on there, and I don't want you to wait for the next day for me to respond to you. It's quicker for me to just jump on, answer your questions, give you example, and move on to the next. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Rena, interview for senior site EHS manager for the first robotic. Wow, that's really cool. In Tennessee. Over Chime. Is it okay to ask the recruiter the names of who will be interviewing me? The recruiter will be sending you that at least a day before the interviewed or a few days before. So they should be prepping you for the on-site interview and also emailing you a list of names. Hello, Renee. For more tips and coaching, Hollis can be on Patreon. Thank you. Renee is my right-hand person that handles all of my tech support for Patreon and Discord. Hey, JD. Thank you for coming back, JD. The skills mentioned in the job description match what I have worked in the last 3 years. If that is the case, when you say, I'm doing this to ask you a challenging question because there's always a reason why employers will decline your application without even having a conversation. It is weird. I feel like I'm like in one side, but I don't have time to fix it right now. I just have to keep moving. If that is the case, when you say you feel like you feel like it matches. If you look at the preferred qualification and the qualification, does it match 80%? If you look at the technical environment as well as the scope, when I say scope, I meant do you have experience, and I can't remember what role or level you're interviewing for, JD. Does it really match the scope and the environment that you're coming in from? Okay, because that's really another ultimate reason why they will pass your applicants. And if you're applying for the same position, even different team, but the same position title, and get declined 3 times in a row, I would stop applying. Go check out my video. I have a couple of them, how to network with the recruiter and hiring manager. I literally just released that last week, guys. Check that out, okay? It's going to teach you how to polish up and stand out, reach out to the employer directly, and just get in front of the ATS system and referrals. Hi, Cigar. Cigar says, I have a virtual on-site interview scheduled for this Friday for an Android developer role at Amazon. Your videos are really... Oh, you're welcome. Well, good luck. Tatiana says, I'm moving to the U.S. in November. Oh, where are you from? LinkedIn recruiters reach out to me, but they find out that I'm not coming right now. They disappeared. What would you recommend? When you said LinkedIn recruiter, are you talking about a recruiter on LinkedIn at Amazon reaching out to you, or are you referring to a recruiter working for LinkedIn? Because if that's the case, they recently went through a layoff at LinkedIn. It's all over the news. Then that's probably why they stopped responding to you. There is a big thing right now. If you are outside of the U.S., it's hard to get into the U.S. due to immigrations, the COVID-19, and a bunch of stuff that you all read on the news and the social media. Okay, so it's really hard to get a job right now to start. I'm assuming with all company and not just Amazon. When it comes to immigration, H-1B, even H-1B transfer for that matter. I'm not really sure about that, but especially for H-1B, it's even organization like an Amazon are processing through premium. There's a lot of hiccup during this time. SOA says, while explaining my answers to interviewer, can I explain using whiteboard on Chime if it's relevant to give details? It depends. That's actually a very, very intelligent question, SOA. Depends on the questions, right? For just regular behavioral question, no one does that unless it's technical questions where you have to design or solve a problem or something like that. I personally have never... I'm not experienced with whiteboarding on Chime. Chime released, it was in the middle of piloting Chime about 2 years-ish ago when I was last with the company. So now that is live and launched to all of you guys, I personally don't have any experience and I can't speak to whiteboarding on Chime, but I know that some of you have, I can tell, especially ones that have a job offer. If you can jump in and help me answer this question, that would be cool. But the bottom line is if it's a behavioral questions, I'm not sure how I would answer that, because just imagine yourself as an interviewer. If everyone wants to whiteboard, that would take away a lot of time if you have to draw it out. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. Sue says, I've applied to front-end developer position at Amazon Video Shopping and waiting for a response. How long should I wait for a response? I would reach out to the recruiter every 2 business days to follow up to make sure they don't forget about you, because they are overwhelmed right now. Hello, Jerry Walker. So Jerry is a coach. Actually, a lot of you guys in finance, go check out her channel. She is actually an executive in finance, and she spent a lot of her career as a controller as well. She has a phenomenal LinkedIn channel as well. So go check that out. It's your best design career. Thanks for dropping by, my friend. Okay. Oh, talk about finance. Swan says, just finished a loop for senior finance analyst, but I wasn't asked writing sample. Will I be asked to write later? When you say finish the loop, you must be referring to the final round, right? Well, that also means that your job probably don't have to do a whole lot of writing at Amazon, but generally for every level 6 position, you will be asked to write a writing sample. If the recruiter doesn't ask for it, I personally will not remind them. Okay? I wouldn't remind them. I would just go with it. Hello, Orphaned. Big smile on my face when a bunch of my Patreon is in here. Renee must be bugging you guys to come over here. Hi, Red Riding Hood. Yesterday was my onboarding for the Google contract role. I'm excited. My Amazon interview preparation helped to get this job offer. See, guys, I told you. Take advantage of the STAR methods and take advantage of all the leadership principle. If you could do really well, just knowing and phrasing your answer around the customers and how you can dive deep and think really big. Amazon leadership principle or not, you need to do that regardless. And when you do, I'm telling you, you can get a job with any employer. Thank you, Red Riding Hood. Miss seeing you last week. I didn't think you were here. Hi, RTB. Thanks for coming back even after landing a job offer. Hi, Vish. How referrals work at Amazon. I received a referral and the guy told me not to apply for any roles. What? I'm like, what? I received a referral and the guy told me, you mean the recruiter, not to apply for any roles, different job ID from my site. Well, my friend, that's because the recruiter wants to own you and not expose you to other position. Here's what I would do. If the recruiter is making that comment to you, I would hope the recruiter will keep tab on you, at least every 2 business days or so. What if you're really that good and other team wanted to interview you and they're stopping you? Okay. But my friend Vish, if you have another recruiter reaching out to you from different team, all you have to do is be very honest with both recruiter and tell them that you will be interested to explore both team. I'm sorry, recruiter, if you guys are all watching this and you're at Amazon, listen, my job here is with my clients or my audience, and that is to find the best role for them in the company, okay? Because at this time, especially around the pandemic, my goal is just to help you land a job, especially with one of the big players so you don't get laid off. So why wouldn't I want to advise you to interview with multiple team, right? Sorry, Amazon, but still your benefit. I'm bringing you the talent. Hi, Zumba and Christine, hello. Kashgari, how are you? I'm interviewing for systems development engineer. What set of questions and live coding should I expect? If you're interviewing for any type of engineering position, you definitely want to check out my previous stream. For system development engineer, the coding, of course, is system level coding. I'm going to assume that you're either C++ or C++. So you need to be able to solve problem in that area very well, and obviously systems architecture, right? Or system infrastructure. And if you are not sure what type of coding to expect and whatnot, especially for an engineering role, I don't know if Amazon's still doing this. I would hope that they're still doing this. The recruiter's job is to send you everything you need to know to prep for the technical part of your interview as well. I know a lot of my clients have told me to not rely on the recruiter, which is true, but it doesn't hurt to ask, by the way, is there any material you can send me to help me prep for my interview? Just ask, okay? Also for SDE, there's a whole bunch of questions on Glassdoor. You need to check Glassdoor out. No, they did not sponsor me. I'm just a very big fan of Glassdoor. T, hello, Mr. or Miss Unidentified Mystery Person. I met you on LinkedIn. I follow all of your videos and advice. Oh, got my offer letter. And my start date is next week, just waiting on COVID for relocation. Yay! Guys, that is my number 7. 7 this week. Woo! Oh my God, I'm so pumped. Guys, see, it does work. All you have to do is listen to what I'm saying and do the work. Zumba says, I just had a phone interview last week for an L3 learning trainer. I'm currently an L1 lead OBPS. I think it went well, but the hiring manager's voice kept dropping. Had to ask to repeat. I know you're not the first person who mentioned this feedback, Christy. let me ask you this questions. When the hiring manager keep on dropping, did you actually let him know that he is dropping? Because I like to hold the interviewer accountable so it doesn't sound like I'm not listening or I don't have a good answer by having them repeat themselves. Okay? Actually, I'm looking at my Amazon mistake to avoid my top 5. That's my number 1. That is training the interviewer. Check out that video as well, okay? From last week where I talked about making sure that the video is on so you're not talking to yourself. If the call is dropped off for any reason, basically you want some kind of acknowledgement that someone is on the other side of the Wi-Fi and that's actually listening to you guys, okay? RTB says, I'm waiting for background check to be completed 7 business days. Is that normal? Yes, absolutely. My background check, even an ex-Amazonian, took me 2 weeks. And I have to remind my recruiter. Hey, Julia. Julia says, what level of English do you need to work as an HR manager in America? Well, Julia, that's a good question. Whether you are an HR manager or any role at all, you need to be proficient in your verbal and written communication. Because you need to be, doesn't matter what position you're in, you are going to be in meetings where you have to talk about your project, your scope, your internal customers. Most of your customer will be internal customer, right? And they need to understand you. And there will come a time, it doesn't matter what level you're in, there will come a time that you will have to write some kind of update paper or something like that. So I would encourage you, if you can, take English courses where you can improve on your written communication. The way you write, you can integrate the way how you articulate your answer in verbal communication. Okay, that's the best tip I can give you. And for those who already have a job offer at Amazon, check this out, guys. English is my 4th language. I'm still not perfect on it. Yes, I love Grammarly Premium. Okay, I can't live without that. So, you know, when you started your job at Amazon, the first thing that I did, I looked at all of the 101 writing courses, project management, program management, so on and so forth. No one asked me to do it. I did it so I can get trained in a proper style of writing, knowing the formality, knowing the structure, and teaching myself how to write in a project management style. That's really needed for you to grow at an Amazon environment. Okay? You know, it's true. If you have something important to say, you kind of tend to put it in writing at Amazon. Zumba says, I'm wondering if it's negative aspect if I ask her to repeat herself. So, no, not at all. You have to. If you can't hear the interviewer, you have to let them know. Okay? Burwa says, I would like to know if it's okay to connect over LinkedIn with the interviewer after a virtual round. Here's the thing, guys, and I've been asked a lot in my Patreon community as well. Put yourself as the interviewer, okay? You're doing hundreds of interview. What if everyone in the world wants to connect with you and you have all this, I call them spam, because they don't know you. So my advice to you is to not ask for the email address. I will send an email to thank everyone with different name. What is significant about your experience or your engagement with that specific interviewer? Compose all of that in one email format. Send it to the recruiter, and the recruiter will forward it to the interviewer. Okay? If you get the job, or let's just say let the interviewer be over and done with, sure. Right? You know the interviewer's first name. You can easily find them on LinkedIn. It's not that hard. And if you don't know how, you should watch How to Network with Recruiters and Hiring Manager. That video was 2 weeks ago. Check that out with the exact template, and I'm showing you how to do it. Okay? So save yourself, because you don't want to create any awkwardness in front of the interviewer, or you don't want them to feel like they have to give you their email address. It's best to not spam them. Okay? But after the interview, you know, it's not awkward if they just decline your request. All right. Hey, Fabian. Fabian says, I'm going out of the country and my second interview hasn't been scheduled yet. This is so weird. Okay, let me just, sorry guys. I know I'm crooked, but you guys just gotta, this way. You just gotta bear with it. I'm going out of the country. My second interview have not been scheduled yet. Does it look bad on me if I ask to be? No, absolutely not. Guys, I know everyone wants to work for Amazon, and it is a great company to work for because you truly do grow a lot in your career in that environment. But between you and your career, you should really focus on what rocks your boats right now. If you need to travel out of the country for whatever personal reason, take care of you. Take care of what you need to take care of first. And if an employer wants you, they will wait for you. Okay. If that position is filled, guess what? There's plenty more position at Amazon. That would be the advice I would give you. Okay. I know that almost a lot of you guys are affected by the pandemic. I'm sorry about that. But don't show up that you would bend over neck for an interview that you're not ready for, and you have to change your entire travel plan that's already been scheduled. Simply just said, I was wondering if I could move the interview date, XYZ, how many weeks do you want to move it out? I already have travel planned out of the country already scheduled. I would love this opportunity to push it out. I'm very excited to meet the rest of the hiring team, along that line. Okay. Hi, Zumba. How are you? Thank you for the super sticker. I didn't even know I have a sticker. What is that? I need to figure out what that is. I'm actually not that old on YouTube. I started it exactly a year ago, but I kind of took a 6 months break. Recently just came back around the pandemic. So I'm still fairly new, trying to learn everything here. But thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, thank you for the super chat, CB. And because I am still setting up my office, it's 50% completed, by the way, which is why you see that I'm a little crooked. That's a green screen. I'm not going to show you what my background looks like. But I'm patiently waiting for my second monitor to show up so I could see my screen. For example, if somebody super chat or super sticker, however you want to call it, I don't want to say I want to give them special attention, but I want it to be able to answer the questions right away where I'm not scrolling up and down. Okay. I'm doing this up and down right now because I don't want to miss anybody. And yes, I do treat everyone equally as important. Okay. CB says, I've asked earlier, but the feed was closed. On-site in 2 weeks ago, received an email. They went with another candidate, but some position popped up again today. Should I reach out to the recruiter? First of all, let me ask you this, CB. What was your feedback from your on-site? Are you still waiting to receive feedback from the recruiter or no? I would find out more first before applying because sometimes it could make you look bad. If it's 2 weeks ago, then I wouldn't let 2 weeks go by without hearing from the recruiter. I would say every 2 business day, I would really bug them until you have to get back to your candidate recruiters. If you're all listening, I know some of you are here. You have to. That's candidate experience 101. Okay. Ask them if they're not moving forward, then could they share some feedback with you? The reason why you want to ask a recruiter for feedback, basically what's going on, what's next for you, your relationship at Amazon. What if your feedback was not good? There's something on there that could prevent you from applying for a job for the next year and you don't even know. Okay? So I don't want you to waste your time applying to a bunch of jobs that makes you look bad, that you're just going to sit back, don't know how your last interview went, and you're getting declined. Okay? So do that first, reach out to a recruiter, figure out more data on how your interview goes. Don't mention anything about other team. Just give them a moment to respond. In the meantime, I want you to start browsing for job and see where you may be a better fit for. So as soon as you get a green light that you didn't get the position for any reason at all, you may want to look at where about your credential that you may be a good fit for, maybe not for that exact same, position title, right? Because position title could be misleading as well. You may be a better fit for something else that you don't even know. Okay? Hey, Rena. Dwayne, ops. There's quite a number of ops manager in my Patreon community. You're welcome, Swang. Eon001, the stream is back. I hope it's back. Delaria says, I'll have an SDE internship interviewed. Do technical questions depend on the term or is it always data structure and algorithm? I would say it's a little bit of everything, but 30% technical and 70% behavioral questions. Anlu actually landed an offer as an SDE, and her background kind of a little bit similar to yours. If you're still around Anlu, please do drop down there and answer these questions. But the bottom line is there's going to be about 30% technical questions and 70. If you are early on into your career, they're not going to ask you a bunch of problem solving questions that you probably won't be able to solve, right? They're going to expect for you to not hold your hand, but to guide you through in solving the problem, okay? Eon001 says, I had 3 data center interviews over the past 4 years. Got close in the last one. Are you the fella that I think, did you mention something like this in one of my comments in my YouTube video? If you are, thank you so much for being here. Don't give up, guys. You're not always going to get feedback from the recruiter directly, but as mentioned before, if you guys really think back on the type of question that was asked during the interview, you kind of know where you have failed, right? I know fail is a harsh word, but there's no other word to use. You will know, your gut will tell you if you have answered the questions or you haven't, okay? And I will try to gain the knowledge somewhere else before you reapply so that you are not passing an Amazon interview for the exact same reason multiple years. That's the best advice I can give you. Hey, TF. You have a pre-loop call tomorrow for a sales role. Right on. Good luck to you. ER001 says 90% behavioral questions in 4 hours. Yep. And it has a lot to do with the type of position you're interviewing for as well. But in general, it's at least 70% behavioral question. Thanks for sharing that. SOA says, for example, situation, task provided to me, action taken by me, the result, I got 200 customers more for my product. Kind of. So let me explain a little bit here, but you really do need to check out my star video, okay, guys? And also the Amazon Leadership Principle playlist. It is not long. It's about 15 minutes long or less. Basically, it was live streamed like this, where I erased everything and only keep the information that I care about to share with you guys, okay? Situation is you need to really paint a picture of what your story is, okay? What is it? What is the whole purpose of your content? Your task is, what problem are you trying to solve? What problem is it? What are you solving for? Your action is not taken by you, but what is your plan? What is your strategies? How did you plant the seed or solve the problem? Make sure you tie back to the problem, okay? And your end result is, I got 200 customer more for my product. That's nice, but everything else in the front is missing. So I can't say that's a great answer or not, but yes, you got the idea, okay? Yeah, and I think that putting information on Glassdoor is awesome for a lot, just helping out a lot of the American or even international as well right now. So many people have lost their job, which is why the Patreon community came alive. That was really the primary reason, is to try to help as many people as I could. Hey, Anirban, what would be a proper 2 questions for product manager technical interview questions? Well, my friend, there are a lot more than 2 questions for product manager. A lot of it is tying down to the most commonly asked behavioral questions. For the Amazon Leadership Principle, you really need to watch my playlist for the LP, and you'll understand exactly what my top questions are. And each one of my video has 4 questions, okay? And that's going to help you answer and tie it around the product that you are working on. Julia says, what books do you recommend for inspiring HR manager? Well, this is probably a bad thing for me to say, that I don't really read a whole lot of books. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of audio books. Even with books, I mean, at least for me, I'm very picky. I want to read, if I were to spend the time to read something, I want to learn something from it. So I think rather than reading a book, I would advise for you to look at articles over books, because article is from different publisher Generally, if you're going to write something about HR or HR management, or, and for example, how to deal with stakeholders, with budgeting, talent mapping, anything along that route, there are actually a lot of great articles on the Muse. Okay, the Muse Forbes is a great one. The Forbes has a lot of previous executive on HR as well. So I would honestly look at that over buying a book because I want different professionals and I want to see what their best advice is based on their 20, 30 plus years of experience. Okay, Forbes and the Muse. Hey Tatiana, I'm Russian who's living in London. Won the green card. Congratulations. Wow. That's why I'm moving to the US. You mentioned the background check. How can I prepare for it? Well, the background check it has nothing to do with you. It's all about the company that you got hired with. Okay. You just have to fill out the background check is based on the country and the city that you live in. Generally, it's criminal. Misdemeanor if you have any, just to make sure that you are legit employee, that you're not going to steal anything or break anything. I'm just kidding. So it's just a general background check. I'm not sure if Amazon or other companies are doing reference check. I don't know how diligent they are in following through with that, but generally they will ask for 3 reference check as well. But the most important thing is your criminal background, criminal misdemeanor. And you don't need to prepare anything. They will ask you for a copy of your green card and all of your immigration paperwork. You're welcome, Burwa. Thank you, TF, for the super chat. Lemon character running, kneeling down on the floor, has arm open and sliced lemon appearing behind him. Thank you. Well, this is the most super chat that I've gone in the 8th live stream where I am struggling with the most. So thank you guys. And I've also taken breaks in between. Thank you. TF says, how do I maintain composure when recalling stars 8 to 10 story or a lot? Not really, TF. If you really think of, I know it's easy for me to say, right? I've helped a lot of clients to work on the star story. And let me tell you this, TF, every single client tell me the exact same thing. I don't have that many stories. In fact, this morning at 6 a.m., I had a coaching client and he told me the same thing. Guess what? At the end of our call, we end up having 10 plus stories. At the end of our call, this individual actually created his STAR extremely concise and able to give me his answer in 30 seconds or less. Okay? Like I said, again, and I'm going to repeat myself one more time. You need to download my STAR template. You need to start filling in the blank. For example, if you don't have an example of an area where you have failed, think bigger, dive deeper, right? Fine, there's no example where you have failed or made a mistake before, but just think about a time where you're not satisfied with the result. You could do better. We could always do better, right? So give me an example of a time where, given the opportunity to go back, you would have done things differently and that would benefit even more to the customer or your team. What is that example? Do you see where I'm going? So don't just think so. I don't want to use the word black and white, but don't just be so black and white with just what the behavioral question is. If you another example would be, for instance, tell me about the most innovative things that you've done. The number one thing is, no, I haven't done anything innovative. Really? Well, you've been in the same job for 3 years. Okay. What do you consider the one thing that you're really proud of, that you feel you were able to influence the most people? I'm talking about your team and your clients, and who are those clients? So as I'm digging to ask for probing questions, we end up having stories, okay? So I'm going to challenge all of you guys who tells me that you don't have at least 10 story. Just keep on asking yourself. In a way, you're kind of interviewing yourself, right? I can't answer this question. Okay, let me take a step back. I mean, Amazon loves to work backward. That's probably where I'm getting all of this from. Just take a step back, right? Ask yourself, okay, if I don't have ABC experience, what else? What else can I share about my experience that's really cool, that's relevant to this environment I'm interviewing for? I guarantee you, if you keep on digging and ask yourself probing questions, you're going to come up with a story. Okay? And once you have that story, tie it to the STAR methods and you will align it perfectly. Okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about and need more help, either A, join my Patreon coaching community, or B, you just need to keep on showing up. Okay? I'm coming live streaming 3 times a week, except Wednesday. That is Patreon only. Hi, Richa. Talking about Patreon. How are you? I have my first phone interview next Thursday. I just started preparing to look fine, really prepared before giving a date. Yes, excellent. Are you guys listening to what Richa is saying? Prepare before giving a date. You have one opportunity for this interview. If you fail a job interview, not just Amazon, any company, you won't have the opportunity to re-interview for at least close to a year or so. Okay? How many stories should I target to sum up all of my LP? I'm comfortable with 10. Even if you don't have 10, I'm gonna force you. You're my VIP customer, so we are going to work on getting 10 stories for you. The more story, the better, because you don't want to recycle the 3 story you have. Trust me. Just by knowing you, and I remember looking at your credential. You're amazing. I mean, your ROI pops. You know, you're being able to save a company XYZ 30% of annual profit, or like 80% here. You know, you have so much number to tie in to how you influence your leaders and your customers. But I think the number one thing that a lot of my customers struggle is just really feeling confident and proud of the work that you're doing. I know it's very uncomfortable to do that, but Amazon is looking for a very specific type of employees. Okay. Remember what I said earlier, guys. Producer. If you're going to ask me what type of people Amazon looks for, people that can produce. Okay. So if you're showing up and saying, you know, hey, by the way, let me tell you a story of a time where I've done this with ABC customer. Let me tell you about the problem they were having. And here's my strategies to fill the gap with that problem. And in return, I was able to save them $500,000 year over year. Okay. You just answered my question. Okay. Many of you who told me you don't have the story, you have the story. I guarantee you have the story. Marita says, I failed a few interviews and the recruiters do not respond to my email or calls to get feedback. It's a standard process to ask for feedback. Yes, it is very, very standard to ask the recruiter for feedback, but they're not obligated to give you the feedback for the obvious reason, because it's best to not go too deep. You just don't want a bunch of candidates. And I'm sharing this because I grew up in the recruiting role where I've had a candidate who yelled at me, who complained about me, even to my boss. You know, it wasn't my decision to not move the candidate forward. You guys get where I'm going, right? Where someone is really upset when I'm trying to, I didn't even give them the full detail. For example, if I were to say, you know, you did a really good job. The one areas that we've decided to move forward with a candidate just with more experience in development. So I would encourage you to continue finding projects with larger scope where you have the ability to code more in Java environment. Hint, hint. Okay. It doesn't matter what the recruiter says. I feel like we're going to get in trouble anyway. That's why it's best to not say anything at all. Okay. That's really the bottom reason is, but if they're not responding to you and you didn't make it through your interview, you have to ask yourself, what area did you fall short on before just keep on reapplying? Because if you reapply for the same position title, as I mentioned earlier, you just get declined. Okay. Anne says, is there any tip on how to juggle between homeschooling and job? Well, Anne, I believe you were here an hour ago where I have a 2.5-year-old. He actually shut off my stream. By the way, guys who just jumped in not too long ago, this is my second stream in the last hour and a half. You just have to do it. It's hard. It's very hard. That is something that you should not bring it up with the interviewer. If you have a significant other or family member to help you to homeschool and care for your kid, I would do that. If you don't, like me, for instance, you just have to make it work. Train, just you have to have a system that work. For instance, for my coaching clients, I start my day at 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, 6 a.m. 6 to 10, I'm heads down coaching 7 days a week because I can't do it any other time. My time is truly limited. The remainder of my day, I'll spend at least 5 hours with my son in homeschooling him. In between, I'll jump on and answer my Patreon community. There's a heart right here because I do have a lot of people in there and I want people to feel that they're being valued for joining my services, okay? And being able to answer their question and not forget that they're also being affected by the pandemic. Even though some of them have a job, they're miserable. There's a reason why I'm attracted to my clients and I don't want them to go away because I'm lacking attention, okay? So you just have to make it work. You have to. And also at night, in the evening, we go for a walk because, just like daycare or schooling, you have to take them outside twice a day. But, as he goes to bed, guess what I'm doing? I'm popping back online again, servicing my Patreon community, especially with the VIP and premium member to make sure that all the questions are getting answered. And then I'm out. And I'll start my day over again. This is 7 days a week. Sometimes I treat myself on the weekend and take him out to a restaurant and train him so we can actually have fun and not have fun in a way where when mama is working, you need to behave yourself. Today, he was a bad boy. Normally, he's actually doing really well. Okay? So, and you just have to make it work. And if you have... if he has a class or something like that, I know it's really hard, but you just have to do it. And employer are very, very understandable. Why? Because everyone is in the same boat. Okay. I don't want to use the affirmative face that everybody has as young children. They don't, but most people does. Amazon is a very mature culture. It's a very when I say mature, I mean a lot of the people comes into Amazon has great experiences. So a lot of them do have family. They understand. So I will not worry about that.
I need to pee-pee.
Okay, he needs to go pee-pee. Well, guys, I have to get going. Thank you so much for spending this afternoon with me. And for all of you Patreon, I will see you tomorrow. I can't remember the time, but it is in the link. And on Thursday, if you guys feel like you wanted to come back, I will be here at 3 p.m. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. And I will see all of you guys soon. Bye, everyone.